All right, hi everyone. Okay, so we're at the part in the Bees Needs where you are opening the Google spreadsheet, okay? Once you've opened the Google spreadsheet, you'll need to go save it as an Excel file. So go File, Download as Excel, and then it'll automatically open and you can open your download and make sure you click Enable Editing. Okay, the first thing you want to do based on your assignment sheet is go down to the bottom here under Predictor Variables and look at all of these columns at the top, okay? You are going to compare your columns with the provisions and plugs data table 1 that we covered in today's class, and you're going to figure out which one is most like the provisions and plugs for your species. So, for example, if the provisions for anthrax bees was pollen, then you would, in Table 2, put under the provisions variable in the spreadsheet, you would put pollen. As easy as that. And then if you are looking for the plug variable in the spreadsheet and Table 1 you put leaves, then you are going to come to this data table and put leaf buds, okay, under the plug variable in the spreadsheet. So just do that real quick and then pause this video and come back. Okay, so this spreadsheet basically goes through all the different types of bee species, and it talks about their dates of nesting. It shows us all these random dates and how many nests they found on those dates. But all this data is really disorganized. You'll notice at the bottom there's all these different sheets for the different species. So if you decided that you wanted to work with the anthrax bees today, then you're only really going to be looking at this sheet and the predictor variables sheet. All the other ones are not important to you. Same thing if you're working with the Isodontia, then this is going to be your sheet with the predictor variables, and that's it, nothing else. Okay? So go ahead and go to the sheet that you're going to be working with today, and I'm going to go to mine. Okay, so this is my sheet. I'm working with the Hylias, which is going to be the example that we're going to be using. Okay, so this one, none of you guys, no students are going to be working on this data except for me for you, and I'll provide it for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the predictor variables for my species. Okay, my species, the provision that it eats is pollen. So what I'm going to do is come in, I'm going to highlight this column for pollen, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to use Control-C, or you can right-click and push copy, whatever you choose. I'm going to go back to my data sheet, and I'm going to paste it. Okay? That's all I did, copied and pasted it from one to the other. Okay, the Hylias actually doesn't have a plug, but I'm going to use one just for an example. So we'll put mud is the plug that it uses. Again, if your bee doesn't use mud, then you shouldn't be copying this column. You're copying whatever column pertains to your species. I'm just doing this as an example for you. So this is the plug that I'm using for Hylias. I'm going to come back to my sheet and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay? So I have all these dates. I have the nests, the pollen, and the mud index. Okay? And all the dates are the same. So that's why I just put them right next to each other. All right, so now it's time to graph our data. So I'm going to highlight all this information that I want to graph and make sure that you include the headings, okay? The headings are going to actually autofill into the graph for you. So after you've highlighted those 4 columns, click Insert. We're going to click Recommended Charts, and the first thing that pops up is a line graph, which is exactly what I want. Cool. Now, to see this a little better, I'm going to kind of drag it down a little bit. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to widen it out because I like when I can see the dates all put together. Okay, and then I'm going to insert a title. Hylias bees, nesting, sites with provisions, and plugs. Okay, we're going to talk about interpreting this data later. Okay, so cool. We made our graph. That part's done. Great. Now we have to do our average, minimum, and max. So if I scroll back up to the top, there's these 3 bolded categories right here. So we need to find the average date that the Hylias bees nest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a formula to figure this out, because look at all these dates on the left-hand side. That's a lot of dates, and I don't want to organize them all by myself because that's going to take a long time. So instead, what I could do is just put an equal sign, type out the word average, do an open parenthesis and a close parenthesis. Now I'm going to have to tell Excel what I want to find the average of. So I'm going to put my cursor in the middle of the parentheses, and I'm going to select all of these dates. I don't think you guys have as many dates as I do, because I have a lot. So select all of the dates on the left-hand side. Don't even forget one. And you'll see it kind of filled out, A3 through A65, A3 through A65. And then once that's done, I'm going to push Enter on my keyboard, and it's going to tell me that the average date that the Hylias bees nest is 7/29. And in this year, 2013, that was the average. Okay, to find the minimum date, or the earliest date that they nest, I'm going to do the same thing. Equal sign, min, M-I-N, and then open parenthesis, close parenthesis. I'm going to put my cursor in the middle of the parentheses and highlight the dates again. Really simple and tedious. Okay, all of the cells came up. I'm going to push Enter. And then the same thing for max. Equals, max, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, cursor in the middle. Make sure you get it in the middle. It takes me a couple tries sometimes. Okay, and then highlight the dates. Boom. Push Enter, and there you go. Okay, so you'll notice if you go back to your assignment sheet, there is data table 3 asking you to record the average, minimum, and maximum dates for your species. So go ahead and take a second and fill that out. And when you're done filling that out, you're going to also want to screenshot your graph that we just made, and you're going to want to insert that into number 6 at the bottom of your assignment. And try and resize it so that it fits into the page. Don't leave it ridiculously sized, because then we can't see it. All right, and that's it for right now. Don't close this out, and don't delete it. Make sure you save this into your biology folder in case we need to pull it up again.